So here, we have two tables po. One table with no data and the second table with data. Yung second table, we will treat it as a reference para maka-input tayo ng data as a user. So we have here a table that will compute for the average users or average total users from months September 2024 to February 2025. So let's have mock data or parang sample data. So let's say sa September 2024, meron tayong 25 working days and yung total users is 230. Then sa October 2024, meron tayong 21 working days and the total users ay 323 rather. For November 2024, we have, for example, 22 working days. Then sa total users, 357. Sa December 2024, we have 19. And sa total users naman, let's say 450. Sa January 2025, kunyari, 26. Then sa total users naman is 373. Sa February 2025 naman, let's say 21. And sa total users ay 412. So sa cell na to, sa particular cell na to, this will compute the total working days from September 2024 to February 2025, which is 134 working days. Dito naman, this will compute for the total users from September 2024 to February 2025. And we can see the final average users per month. So for September 2024, we have an average of 9.20 rather. So October 2024, we have 15.38. So November 2024, we have 16.23. So sa December 2024, we have 23.68. So January 2025, we have 14.35 and the February 2025, we have 19.62. So the total average users per month from September 2024 to February 2025 is 16.01. So next, we have here Median, the Median simulator. So we similar sa MinCalc o sa Min simulator, we have here first table with no data and second table with data. Because the second table will serve as a reference for the user. So let's say we have an instruction here or disclaimer. Please insert data in the first and second column. Suppose that the table handles 5 class intervals. So let's say the first class interval is 0 to 5. The second one is 6 to 10. Sunod is 11 to 15. 16 to 20. And sunod is 21 to 25. So for the frequency, let's say 12, 13, 27, 32, and let's say 10. So we have here sa baba nung table pa, nung first table, we have a second table pa here sa baba, which will compute for the values of the median position, the median class, the L, the N, the cumulative frequency, the F, and the H. So sa median position, sinabi na we have a 47 as our median position. So sa median class is 11 to 15. Then sa L, of course, this should return the value of the lower limit of the median class. So sa median class, ang median class natin rather is 11 to 15. And of course, ang lower limit niya is 11. So this should return 11, which is true naman. Then sa N naman, of course, it is 94, which is the total frequency of the whole table, which is 94. And tama rin naman na 94 siya. So sa cumulative frequency, we have 25. So this should return the cumulative frequency of the class interval before the median class. So we have here the median class is 11 to 15. And the class interval before that is 6 to 10. And its cumulative frequency is 25. So it should return 25, which is true naman. So sa F, this should return the cumulative frequency of the median class itself. So as like what I've said, 11 to 15 yung nalagay nating median class. And yung frequency niya is 27. So tama naman, 27. And for the H, this should return the range of our median class. So this should return the value of 15 minus 11, which is 4. So tama naman. So as we have all the values here, the computed median for our sample table is 14.26. Next, we have the mode. So sa mode, we have here two tables, one for ungrouped data and second for the group data. So sa ungrouped data, of course, maglalagay lang tayo ng mga single data or individual data. And merong instructions here na please insert the given data in each cell. Suppose that the table can handle a maximum of 180 data. So let's say 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 32, 21, 20, 12, 12, 13, 13, 13, 14, 18, or 19, and 18. So we have here, for example, ito na yung lahat ng given data na in-input ng user since the limit is 180 data. So as we can see here, ang lumabas na result is the mode for the given data is 12, which means that 12 yung pinakamaraming data na na-input yung user or nung user. So we have here naman the part 2 of the simulator for the mode, which is for group data. So parang similar din sa nauna, meron tayong first table and second table. Yung second table, this will serve as a reference for the user. So nakalagay here, please insert data in the columns. Suppose that the data handles 5 class intervals. So let's gawa ulit. So kunyari 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. Then the frequency is 12, 21, 32, 7, and let's say 15. So, dahil napuno na yung data natin, this should return all the values for the model class, the L, the F1, F0, F2, and H. So, as what the table or the simulator has, has given, our model class daw is 21 to 30. So, this is our model class. So sa L, this should return the lower limit of our model class. So yung model class natin is 21 to 30. And of course, the lower limit is 21. So tama naman na 21 siya. Then for the F1, this should return the frequency of our model class. So as we can see, or as what I've said, our model class is 21 to 30. So this should return 32, which is true din naman. Then for the F0, this should return the frequency of the class interval before our model class. So since our model class is 21 to 30, the class before it is 11 to 20. And its frequency is 21, so it should return 21, which is true. For the F2, this should return the frequency of the class interval after our model class. So our model class is 21 to 30, and this should return the class interval or the frequency of the class interval after it, which is 31 to 40, which is 7. So, true din naman siya. Then for the H, this should return the range of our model class by subtracting the upper and the lower limit. So, 30 minus 21 is 9. So, tama naman na 9. So, as calculated, our mode is 24. So that's all for our central tendency simulator. So let's proceed naman with our charts simulator.
So for the charts simulator, since we utilize pie chart and bar graphs on our presentation, we will simulate how to create pie charts and bar graphs on Excel. So I'm gonna use the demographics frequency of our own survey as my basis on creating charts. So first, how to how can I make charts automatically? First, I need to insert chart, and then you need to choose the right chart. There are so many charts possible here, but you need to use the right chart for each question or data. So for this one, we're gonna use pie chart because this represents the 100% of the body. So I'm gonna use the 2D pie. So as we can see, it's blank. But when we select data, and then we will add legend entries and we will name this as the age range. And then we will use these series values and then we will just remove this and then insert these values. And then, okay. And as we can see that the legends are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to edit it using this one, access label range, and then choose the range of 17 or lower to 28 to 30, and then it will automatically create pie charts. So for types of charts, we can use various types of charts depending on what we want and what we want to utilize. Example is this one. We can observe that it lacks the percentage value. So how can we add percentage value? We just need to add the chart element and then the data labels and then inside end or anywhere or center. And then we can observe that that's the percentage, the pie. Or we can choose this one with automatic charts. Then we can also edit the labels. And then for the bar graphs, we can I will also use our own data. So for the bar graph, same as the pie chart, we just need to insert the chart. So we can see there are so many charts, we just need to use the right chart. So we will use the bar graph. For this one, we just need to select data and then add entries and then let's name it as agriculture as one of the pressing issues and then we edit the series values here 8, 1, 10 and then okay. And then we can observe that there is a bar graph already, but the legend are still not right. We can observe that it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we just need to edit it out using this and then access label range and then it will automatically compute and put legends. So we can choose different bar graphs here on depending on what the user wants, and then we can also add chart elements for better and clear understanding of the graph. Then you center inside end, and that's how we created graphs in our presentations.
So now let's proceed with the standard deviation simulator.
So now we have here the standard deviation simulator. So you can see we have four sheets based on our presentation. First, the demographics. Second, depression issues. Third, the focus of senators. And lastly, the basis on assessing political candidates. So this demographics table will be the sample of our data. So to compute the standard deviation, we must get the mean, then the total of the mean. We must get the mean. So to get the mean, we must have first data. So this data is the same data from our presentation earlier. So we have age, frequency, total, square difference, mean variance, standard deviation, sum of square difference, and coefficient of variation. To get the mean, we must get the total first. So we multiply age and frequency. So after getting the total, we get the sum of this and divided by the total of our participants, which is 107. So now we get the mean, which is 20.51. After getting the mean, we will get the square difference. So to compute the square difference, uh, First, we must get the data, then subtract the data from the mean, then get the square of it, then multiply it by its frequency. So all of it multiplied by zero would be zero. So this one and all of the data are the same. After that, we will get the sum of squared difference. So the sum of squared difference to get the variance. So the sum of square difference is this one. And so for the variance, we will get the sum of square difference divided by the totality of the frequency, or as mentioned earlier, 107. So the variance is sum square difference divided by 107. So we get the variance of 2.57. So the standard deviation in turn is the square root of the variance. So the square root of 2.57 is equal to 1.60. So now, so to interpret this data, we get the coefficient of variation. As mentioned earlier, to compute the coefficient of variation, we must uh, divide the standard deviation from the mean and multiply it by 100%. So the coefficient of variation is 7.81 for the age of our respondents, which means that it is a low variability, or the data is not that spread around the mean. So it's quite so it's tightly close around the mean. So the data is close to each other, as the age of respondents is just ranging from 19 to 20. So it's the same with other datas. So if we change it, datas will also change. So like that. Also, it's the same thing. It's the same computation, same solutions for the sectors, for the agriculture, education, human rights. For example, um, if, for example, we want to check if this is the same with this formula, if we copy this data, you can see that the uh, that this one, this computation is the same with this computation. So that is the end of the standard deviation simulator.
So that's all for our presentation for the data gathered and for the simulators. So thank you po for listening.